With approximately 70 years of the Minor Occultation coming to an end, how were the Shia going to prepare for the Major Occultation, for the time in which the Imam would be physically gone from the eyes and the senses of all of his followers? Let's find out. In 326 after Hijrah, Hussain ibn Ruh left this world, but not before appointing a man named Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari to be the final deputy of al-Imam al-Mahdi. Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari was from Basra. His family was very religious, devout, and loyal to al-Imam al-Mahdi. They owned lands that they had devoted to the 12th Imam. Thus, when the time came to appoint the 4th deputy, there was no question when the name of Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari was taken. People understood that he deserved this position and that he was the rightful person for this task, as instructed by the 12th Imam. It is reported that the 4th deputy was a great companion of al-Imam al-Askari, and not only that, but that he had been continuing to carry out the tasks of the previous 3 deputies during their era, acting as an agent not only locally, but fulfilling whatever directives were coming from the Imam beyond the area of Basra or wherever he was residing. The era of the 4th deputy was very difficult. It coincided with the reign of al-Radi and al-Muttaqi, 2 of the Abbasid Caliphs who were quite tyrannical and, as their predecessors, were very oppressive of the Shia and the activities of the Imams. Yet, Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari continued to collect the zakat, continued to collect the khums, and absolve all of the Shia of their difficulties and challenges and any doubts or misconceptions that were arising in that era, particularly as the time for the Major Occultation was near. Unfortunately, not much is known about Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari. We only know bits and pieces from the reports and the historical accounts, and it is known that his secret actions, his actions to evade the regime, are what preserved the directives of the Imam to the Shia and kept again the Shia unified in a moment when there was conflict, when there was uncertainty, and greater physical disconnection from the 12th Imam. After 70 years of minor occultation, we know that Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari received a tawqiyah, an authentic letter, a message from al-Imam al-Mahdi, stating that, "May Allah reward you. Your time to depart from this world has come. And know that you should not appoint anyone to succeed you. There will be no deputy after you. And after today, the 2nd occultation will be major and will be for a very long time under the permission of Allah. And there will be no reappearance until Allah deems the time to be appropriate." Moreover, al-Imam al-Mahdi, in his tawqiyah to Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari, stated that during this major occultation, under the permission of God, when the reappearance will not be occurring for a long time, that the hearts would become hardened and that injustice will fill the world. My dear brothers and sisters, this is a message of our 12th Imam to us. For every Shia, for every devoted follower through the centuries of life that we have on this earth, that realize that the world around us, what we do, how we act, who we interact with, the things we engage in, are a potential risk to cause our hearts to become hardened. And God forbid, by our actions, the spread of injustice, not only in our own lives, but the lives of other people, which will be far worse. Thus, we must be cognizant of our own actions. We must be cognizant of all of the stimuli and everything we are exposed to prevent it from causing hard-heartedness, and to prevent it from causing blindness, which goes hand in hand with hard-heartedness. Today, the world is filled with injustice, and most of us, God forbid, are of those who do not see it happening, or maybe refuse to see it happening, because we are too comfortable in our lives. Because God has given to us, so why should we care about anyone else? No. This was the message of al-Imam al-Mahdi to the 4th deputy, that be aware of hard-heartedness and allowing injustice to spread from your hands. We must be aware of this warning of our Imam. We must take it to heart in this time of ghaiba, in this time of major occultation, so that our actions are those that reflect the true followers of al-Imam al-Mahdi. In 329 after Hijrah, the 4th deputy, Ali ibn Muhammad al-Samari, passed away and left this world. He is buried in al-Buratha in the western part of Baghdad. Again, like the 3 before him, a symbol of devotion to the 12th Imam, a servant of God, a preserver of truth, and a champion of justice, one to whom we can look as an example in his life, in his resiliency, and in how to face challenges and difficulties and overcome them with grace, honor, and without sacrificing or compromising that which is absolutely essential. We can appreciate from the lives of these four deputies some very important points. One is that we must have an authentic source, guidance in the aspects of religion, guidance in the aspects that are so essential to this world, this life, but more importantly to the next world that is going to come, must come from a source that is trusted, that is authentic. Hence, we should not compromise and choose sources that are questionable, that are suspicious. We should not choose to follow individuals or listen to the advice of individuals who are questionable, who do not have the trust of the people around them in the sense of their religious adherence. The other thing that we have learned in this period from the examples of the four deputies is that we must have infrastructure, a Shi'i infrastructure that is built on not only those trusted sources which I just mentioned, but also on cooperation, on succession planning, and on the development of systems that promote the empowerment of each and every one of us. Man, woman, child, elderly, irrespective of ethnicity, background, language, or culture. It must be such that each individual becomes a contributor and somebody who benefits from this infrastructure. Finally, what we learned from the legacy of the four deputies is that we must have a Shi'i worldview, an imamate worldview. What does that mean? It means, one, that we see the world such that we want to promote justice, we want to promote equity, we want to promote tolerance, and do so such that no voice is silenced in that cause. And no cause is too small that we shouldn't jump to support it and to preserve the rights of those whose rights are being trampled upon. Worldview based on Islam, based on justice, based on what the imamate has come to teach us, is one that promotes lofty values, values of compassion, mercy, kindness, care for those who have no one to care for them, and the support of those people who have no one to support them. So if I have been given something, I have been gifted with a position, then it is the way of the 12th Imam to go and to help and to give that benefit that God has given me to somebody else and to pass it forward so that then they can stand on their feet and pass it to the one next to them. We hope that this series has been enlightening, that you've learned from the lives of the four deputies of al-Imam al-Mahdi. May Allah's mercy be upon them. May Allah make us of His true followers. Subscribe to our channel. Reach out with your questions, your comments, and your thoughts. I wish you well. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.